The climate crisis demands a shift on how we produce and consume energy. Across continents, new dams rise from rivers, solar parks spread across deserts, wind farms carve the horizons, and mines bore into mountains for transition minerals, all hailed as part of a just energy transition, promising a cleaner, greener future. But behind this pursuit of progress, another story unfolds. What's called clean energy is creating new frontiers of massive land grabbing, and with them, conflicts. For Indigenous peoples, the just transition has become another struggle for survival, marked by dispossession, violence, and fear. From the nickel mines of Palawan to the geothermal fields of Indonesia, a pattern emerges. Development justified by the climate crisis, imposed without recognizing the collective rights of the indigenous peoples to their lands, resources, and to free, prior, and informed consent.
The energy transition that is happening now is going the wrong way. It is actually green colonization because it's the same companies from fossil fuel companies shifting to set up renewable energy projects that the main objective is profit more than meeting the climate goal or the needs of the people.
In Palawan, the Philippines' last ecological frontier, green looks a lot like red. In 2023, floods turned rice fields crimson with silt and laterite from the open pit operations of Ipilan Nickel Corporation, mining nickel for electric cars and other clean technologies.
Hindi pwedeng pagsamahin ang pagmimina sa pagsasaka. Yun lang po. Kasi ang masama pong epekto ng mina, kaya ayaw namin ng mina ay yung laterite po, nasira yung tubigan namin, mga palayan, maisan, pati mga nyugan na ngayon.
For the Palwan, the transition to clean energy brought poisoned water, failed harvests, and fear. Those who spoke out were branded as anti-development, or worse, treated as criminals. From the mountains of Palawan to the volcanic slopes of Flores, Indonesia, the story repeats. In the name of energy transition, governments and corporations move in, often without the consent of those who call these lands home. In Pocho Leok, a state utility backed by a German bank is pushing a massive geothermal project approved without free, prior, and informed consent. It threatens forests, farms, and sacred grounds that the indigenous peoples have protected for generations.
Masyarakat adat Pocho Leok pada hari ini adalah kami diancam oleh ambisi proyek transisi energi yang dilakukan oleh PLN bersama pemerintah di ruang hidup kami. Tentu saja itu akan mengancam ruang hidup kami, kesehatan kami, perekonomian kami, dan segala macamnya bagi kami. Posisi pemerintah memang karena pemerintah sendiri yang mendorong proyek ini untuk dilaksanakan, mereka pastinya pada posisi bagaimana supaya proyek ini tetap dilaksanakan. Dan mereka sangat tidak mendengar suara masyarakat kecil, mereka tidak mendengar masyarakat adat.
For the indigenous peoples here, this isn't just energy transition, it's displacement. The fields that promise renewal to the world have become battlegrounds for their rights and survival.
Sehingga sejak awal kami melakukan protes kepada pemerintah, juga kepada PLN sebagai pengembang proyek ini, serta kepada pendana dari proyek ini, yakni KFW atau KFW. Germany Development Bank. Bentuk penolakannya itu demonstrasi, kemudian mengirim surat protes.
Across Indonesia, mining and geothermal projects continue to push deeper into indigenous territories. Around the world, transition minerals such as nickel, cobalt, and lithium lie beneath indigenous lands. The world's clean future is being built on ancestral lands. When the indigenous peoples of Pocoleoc resisted, armed forces arrived. Despite threats and attacks, their united resistance forced the bank to suspend its funding, a hard-won pause and a struggle far from over. For Indigenous activist and 2024 Right Livelihood Laureate Joan Carling, this is no isolated case. It's a pattern repeating across the world.
The other reality that we're facing with this kind of imposition of projects like the mining of critical minerals or the development of massive windmill or solar farms where our livelihoods and cultural heritage are found. When we protect these resources, when we assert our rights, we are being attacked and we are being criminalized and even killed.
Since 2021, Indigenous Peoples Rights International has tracked nearly 500 cases of violence and harassment against Indigenous peoples in Asia, from arrests to killings. 24 of those cases are tied to energy transition projects, impacting close to 100,000 Indigenous women, men, and children. 18 of these cases stem from hydropower projects in the Philippines, India, and Nepal. The rest are tied to solar, geothermal, wind, and transition mineral mining across the region. From the Philippines to Indonesia, Cambodia, and India. Each number hides a face. Each statistic, a community. Every data point is a life caught between survival and someone else's idea of energy transition and progress. But not all stories of the energy transition end in loss. High in the northern mountains of the Philippines, the Isneg people of Apayao are proving that clean energy can flow differently. In Nabuangan village, they built 4 micro hydropower systems by hand, without corporate control or government contracts, sustained by the river and their unity.
Sakbay na dayta, yung plano mi nga tagalapat nga madaan iti microhydro, gaputa iti pinanpanunot mi daytoy masakbayan para kada tayo ingana iti kapututan. Kaswarigan ada dumawat iti microhydro kadagiti dadu mga barangay. Isuro mi dayjay mangi-manage mit lang ti importante unay.
Across the Philippines, nearly 3.6 million people still live without electricity. Many of them indigenous communities. Ironically, some of the biggest dams in the country rise from indigenous lands, yet bring no power to the people who live there. The electricity flows instead to industries and distant cities, while the villages at the source remain in the dark.
Idi ada kuryente min, ada nagbaliwan na, medyo lumagan iti kabibiyag mi. So nga pagyamanan mi tada microhydro ditoy.
And they're not alone. In Desa Tadungus, an indigenous community in West Kalimantan, Indonesia, renewable energy is also taking root, this time through collaboration. Indigenous knowledge from Sabah, Malaysia, was shared across borders to help Tadungus build its own clean energy system. By blending traditional wisdom with new technology, the community now has access to electricity while preserving its forest, culture, and way of life. These are the transitions that work, rooted in knowledge, powered by people, and sustained by the land itself.
The big difference of the leadership of Indigenous peoples in relation to climate action is that we have the right values and principles. We have the principle of reciprocity and living in harmony with nature. That means we view nature as part of us. We don't view nature in terms of its commercial values that we can take advantage of. We value reciprocity, meaning that we only take what we need from nature, and we also take care of nature so that it takes care of us.
What's happening in Palawan and Apayao, in Pocholiok and Tadungos, isn't just about energy. It's about power. Who holds it, who takes it, and who pays the price. Across the world, Indigenous peoples are rewriting the story, proving that clean energy doesn't have to come at the cost of people or the planet. When they lead, the transition becomes a movement for justice, equity, and sustainability. If the world is serious about confronting the climate crisis, the path forward is clear and pressing. Build a just energy transition in partnership with Indigenous people.
Including progress. Many of the roads here are unpaved. Electricity is spotty. Unemployment in the area hovers near 70%. But perhaps most shocking of all, an estimated 40% of the people who live here don't have access to running water.
And the sink, what does the sink do?
We don't use the sink because there's no running water.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Loretta Smith and her husband share this small mobile home with their disabled granddaughter, Brianna.
7? That's how old?
With no indoor plumbing, what little water the family has inside is carried in, bucket by bucket, stored in plastic barrels outside.
Do you feel sort of forgotten out here?
Yes. For sure, yeah.
The area's main source of drinking water is miles away, in the parking lot of the St. Bonaventure Indian Mission, in the town of Theroux, New Mexico.
Okay.
Getting water here can mean a 100-mile round trip for some families. And the mission's office manager, Cindy Howe, says many don't even have access to a car.
What happens when they run out of water?
If they don't have any water, it's just they don't have any water. And sometimes I get so frustrated, why can't people get water?
And that's where Darlene Arviso comes in.
They call her the water lady.
Every day, Darlene loads up her big yellow tanker truck and takes to the roads to deliver something most of us take for granted.
When I see her coming, yes, water.
Darlene is Navajo, born and raised right here on the reservation.
Pretty much know everybody, right?
She's used to carrying precious cargo. She's been driving the school bus on the reservation for years. But her water route is a job that she considers almost sacred.
I'm proud of what I'm doing for my people, and I love my job. So.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
What do you love about it so much?
I go out every day to meet different families, yeah.
There are 250 homes on her route, and she can only get to each family once a month. And sometimes not even then, if the mud gets too thick. Which is why when she does make it, it's often treated like a celebration. Nina Garcia has never had a day with running water in her life. Unlike the rest of us who use about 100 gallons of water a day, Nina has been getting by on only about 7 gallons. That's a hard truth that Darlene has a hard time watching.
Sometimes I wish I could do more.
How do they make it last so long?
Well, they just have to stretch out their water, and yeah.
I say this, as having been raised Catholic with full knowledge of what I'm saying. Darlene Arvizo is a living saint.
The fact that this man, George McGraw, is on this reservation at all is a testament to just how dire the Navajo situation is.
Do you see yourself?
He runs a nonprofit called Dig Deep. He normally works in developing countries, digging wells in places like South Sudan, Kashmir, and Cameroon. But now, the problem is right in his backyard.
I really had no concept that this kind of material poverty existed in the U.S.
But it does. The question is, why?
It should be regarded as a national embarrassment.
We took that question to Dan McCool, a political science professor at the University of Utah, who's studied Indian water rights for the last 40 years.
How is this possible in this day and age that Americans don't have running water?
American Indians in Arizona and New Mexico were not allowed to vote until 1948. They did not have a voice. They weren't in line politically when the money, the funding, the projects, and the water was being allocated.
So the only source of water left for the Navajo is groundwater, lying deep beneath the hard rock of the Continental Divide.
We took this project to hydrogeologists, to engineers, to construction specialists all over the country, even here in the Southwest. And everyone said, well, this is one of the most challenging projects we've ever seen.
Even if they can find water, it might not be drinkable.
You'd probably start to hit water here at about 600 feet, but the water you'd get out would be laced with uranium.
That's from years of mining on the reservation during World War II. Older water wells dot the landscape. Sarah Begay, who's lived on the reservation all her life, took us to this one. It's still pumping water, but few dare drink from it anymore.
For years, maybe a good 20, 30 years.
It was fine.
It was fine.
And then what happened?
People started getting sick.
So Dig Deep must dig deeper, and the clock is ticking.
Running out of water by the middle of the month is a painful experience.
And most of them do.
Yeah, most of them still do.
Good morning.
Lindsay Johnson makes sure she doesn't run out. She has a system to conserve every drop Darlene delivers.
What would you do without her?
I don't know.
Aside from her morning coffee mug, she uses only paper plates and cups, so she doesn't have to wash dishes. Like her fellow Navajos, Lindsay shares her home with as many as 8 other people. When it comes to washing hair, 2, maybe 3 of them will all use the same water.
Good.
Lindsay's 16-year-old granddaughter, Yvonne, says almost everyone here finds ways to cope without running water, but few want to talk about it.
People don't share their stories.
Yeah.
I don't either.
You don't tell them? Because why?
It's kind of embarrassing. It's just hard.
So who's to blame for this?
The counties and the states say, oh, it's the federal responsibility, and the feds say, well, we're broke, it's the states and the counties' responsibility.
It's a lot of finger pointing.
Oh, yes, yeah, a lot of passing the buck.
And so, the Navajo wait.
Has Darlene kept you updated on everything going on with the well, the new well?
Yeah. George's Dig Deep well is coming along, but it will cost close to $500,000 to complete, and all of it is funded by donations.
It's worth it.
But even if the well gets up and pumping, Darlene still won't be out of a job. A new well doesn't mean homes will suddenly have new plumbing. What it means is clean water will be more readily accessible, a first step. The next will be building gravity-fed storage tanks like these that could be hooked up to faucets inside. But that's several years and probably countless fundraisers away.
Things are not simple here. But every time we have even the smallest success in this project, those little moments are so tremendously impactful for me. I think I'm really starting to live for this project. It's ours.
Do you think you'll ever see a day where everyone here has water?
I just hope so. I just pray and that they'll have running water. Yeah.
A simple wish the Navajo people hope won't just be a drop in an already empty bucket.